Okay. And we are live.
Okay.
The floor is y'all's.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Coming through. All right, so we're gonna get started. I'm gonna move this a little bit. I probably should have warned you ahead of time, but never too late. All right. Okay, so I have a list of. I'm gonna just send this to you actually. I have a list of the projects that people are working on. They're going to come up and give just a quick rundown of the work they did and whether they're going to be continuing on that work. Here, I'll just send this right now. Just attach it to the thread. Okay, cool. All right, so is everyone ready? Ready? All right. Alex, can I have you come in first? Or like any number of you or all of you? Yeah, the collective. Do you mind coming up? Because it's going to be like forward. Yeah, like so there's people that are like remote that are going to be watching. There's not a lot. Don't worry, it's not like a presidential debate, but cool.
Yeah, so the point of this is just so that we'll be, we're going to be showcasing this during tomorrow's main event. So this will just be kind of played to say, hey, here's what Boston did. So, hi, I'm Nick.
So I guess we'll do it together. We worked on open elections data. There's the open elections Slack channel. And basically we sort of worked independently on parsing the election results from different states. I worked on Wayne County, New York.
I worked on Niagara, New York.
I worked on Alabama.
Yeah, it sounds like there's definitely room if people dig it. The project needs volunteers. It's actually kind of fun and somewhat interesting to look through all the different results that small towns can list the voting results in terms of PDFs, Excel sheets, to like handwritten scanned copies. So
yeah, it varies. Sometimes it's just a matter of parsing HTML. Sometimes it's different. So they're often.
Awesome. So what was the goal of the project? Was to analyze the local data to find...
Right now the goal is more just to make the data like clean and standardized in format so that after that sort of like building block step is over analysis.
Yeah, it turns out there is actually no publicly available standardized set of US voting data, which is sort of horrifying in many ways and surprising. But
wow.
Yeah.
So we're trying to build that as much as possible.
Nice. And you said you had a Slack channel devoted to doing this?
We do, yeah.
Yeah, we're actually tagging on to, there's a project that started way before called the Open Elections Project as a whole. And so a bunch of people have been working on that, and they have a whole GitHub and tools and recipes, and so we sort of tagged onto that. But if you
awesome!
If you search open elections, you'll find all about it. That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, it was very interesting. A little bit, not really the most sexy or exciting code-wise, but it was.
So you mentioned that you're looking for some more volunteers. Is there anything in particular you're looking for?
People who have sort of like, data processing and that sort of experience. I mean, there's web scraping, there's, like reformatting data files. People who are good with Python, people who are good with XML, HTML, like CSV. Any of that, data frames,
awesome.
Scientific, those that sort of thing. There's 50 states, and we're taking care of 2.2 states. So there's a lot more work to be done. More hands would make that work lighter. But I think that, basically.
That's awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
We're gonna go next, and I'll share a file that'll have like links to the Slack channel and links to the people people to contact if other people want to get involved. Okay. So, Wei Fang. Hi. So we're gonna have the next one up. Cool.
Wait, this is going to show something on my computer, but
What's your Slack name? I can send you the Hangout so you can dive in.
it's IANWFX.
IANWFX.
IAN, like
Oh, M.
Mary.
Gotcha. And I am. You now have the Hangout link.
Okay, cool.
Very good feedback. No problem.
Okay, maybe I'll just like drop a image into the Slack channel.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Hey, Benjamin, if you want to share that link with the people on site, you're more than welcome to.
Okay, sure.
If they want to share anything.
Put it on the channel. If anybody wants to go into the Hangout, I'm not sure if that matters.
How do you go into the Hangout?
You can, it's on the Slack channel, the link to the Hangout. It's open. Yeah, if you just want to drop.
Okay. I'll just talk about it a little bit, and then maybe I can put the image in the Slack channel later. So basically, what I was trying to do, this is for the Boston crash modeling project, and so what I was trying to do was basically get a spatial data set of pedestrian presence, or some kind of proxy for pedestrian presence, which is a little bit difficult because that's not the kind of data that would be available on like the census, for instance, or if you use different data sets, they all have their own biases. So for instance, if you use like social media data, that's going to be biased towards a certain population, or if you use like other kinds of like presence data, like for instance, we were talking about like Runkeeper or other kinds of like Fitbit data that's also biased towards a certain type of exercise or a certain type of population as well. So what I started with was looking at daytime population data, which I guess is a slightly better approximation for where people are, at least like during the day, than the census data, which is just like where people reside. And I looked at the kind of general relationship, like visually on a map of the daytime population data versus the crash data, and there's not a great relationship, I think, for a bunch of different reasons. But I think the next step would be to think about what other kinds of data sets that we can use to start to proxy pedestrian presence. So we're talking about like maybe CDR data, for instance. I'm sure someone out there has like a CDR data set that we can start to play around with. So that is kind of like my next idea or next step for like this piece of the model.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Okay. Again, there will be links on this mythical slide thing that I'm talking about. Kashab, you're next. You guys both want to come on. Hello, world.
Hey guys, so we were working on changing the traffic count data for the crash modeling project, and also trying to see if we can generate some new features from it to incorporate into the model, the benchmark model. So the files existed in a list of Excel files as well as PDFs. So because something has to be presented today, we thought like, to do something tangible, we scraped a very small subset of files and got together a very small amount of data, and we did an initial analysis on it, exploratory analysis, and generated some plots like to see how the distribution of vehicles or traffic go by hours and neighborhoods and stuff, to see if anything makes any interesting visualization. So that's how we started today. Probably we would begin in a much more structured way by cleaning across all the files and probably uploading to our data world, and then doing a much more detailed analysis and going on from there. Yeah.
Anything else? That's it. Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. And next up, we have Chief Ang.
Hello, I worked on the crash modeling problem, and I developed a Bayesian statistical framework to look at the prediction problem. So normally your prediction problem, you fit a model and it has a deterministic prediction. And you don't have uncertainty on how accurate your predictions are. Approach lets you capture that uncertainty so you can have confidence intervals on the predictions your model makes. And so I wrote down the mathematical formulation, and the next step is to, I guess, implement it and run it on the actual data. And I really like this project because I mostly work on the theory side of this type of problem. So interacting with real data is very exciting for me.
Awesome. Thank you.
That was awesome.
All right. And last but not least, we have
Chief Boucher?
Yeah, T. Boucher. At Boucher.
We're working with the traffic modeling project too. I guess one of the big things I wanted to do was to get, I spent most of the day just learning the code base and getting, reproducing the current benchmark. I think it strikes me as one of the biggest problems is the unbalance of the data. The data is incredibly unbalanced. For over 1 million examples, we have 0.2% are positive. So there are a number of different ways we can kind of try to resolve that. We can do subsampling or super sampling. We can do model weighting. We can do we can treat the problem instead of a binary classifier. We can treat it as a anomaly detector problem. So there's a number of algorithmic changes that we could do to try to balance data problem. So I guess I'm kind of looking into that. I haven't explored much now, but I've got the code base down a little bit. So.
Yeah, and I have a statistical background, and I'm trying to kind of review the data generally for those inputs, potentially kind of using the combined data set, for example, all of the intersections, projecting out or defining the shape parameters for the distributions based on the cumulative, and then potentially apply that to the individual intersections later. Like since we have no data for a lot of them, perhaps we could just use some shape that we can gather from the cumulative set and apply that out, and that would obviously feed into the
right. If you can model the features better, then we can do things like generating positive examples, synthetic examples.
And I also had a great time learning more about art and wanting to dig into it.
Awesome. Thank you.
That's awesome.
And so basically every single one of these projects, thanks everyone. This was great.
Yeah, this has
Like,
been hugely helpful. And you know, it's been a really interesting experience for us in Boston, kicking off the project with Data for Democracy. You know, this is a new model. We're trying to figure out how this is all going to work, and it's really inspiring to see everybody here coming out to join in, and I'm really excited with the enthusiasm. But it's also incredibly valuable for us. And as we heard, there are a lot of things that people here have specialized expertise on, and we don't individually have that necessarily. So, you know, what I was hoping we'd get out of this is what we are getting, which is the combined abilities of a lot of really talented people. So thanks again. Just quick announcement before this. So obviously this project is going to be continuing. We're mostly organizing via the Slack channel. When you get a chance, on your work, you can upload it to our GitHub repo to share it. Also, two other things more broadly. One, some of you might have already seen that we are kicking off a new open data portal in Boston. You looked at today. We're officially launching it next week. We're doing an event at General Assembly on Thursday evening, and then that's going to be the kickoff of our Open Data Challenge, which is going to be a month-long open data competition where essentially we're going to present challenges from different users of data within the city, whether it's people from our team or people in different departments. I think we've got our environment department with some questions about some energy data. Public schools are interested in looking at school performance. We're looking at other things around things like fire incident data and other sources. So really what we want to do is to find ways to get the input from the community, much like we did here, across a whole host of problems. And that's going to lead up to a big event on May 6th at District Hall. So we'd love to have you all there. And if you have a chance to participate in the challenge, it'd be really great to see what else you can do. So thank you again. And final note, if you're interested in doing this kind of work and really enjoy the civic stuff, we are hiring for a couple things. So you can talk to me afterwards, or just look up on boston.gov/jobs. And you can find we're hiring right now for a data and performance analyst and a data scientist. So if you're interested, please take a look and let me know. Thank you.
Yeah, and just one more thing that will be continuing to be accessible via Slack, and hopefully you guys are going to continue to work on the projects. We might have some people from that were not here today, pinging you and being interested in getting involved in different aspects of the project. And we're definitely going to push this model forward, so we'd definitely like to draw on everyone here, the work that everyone else here is doing. So cool.
On behalf of D4D, thank you all for your participation. Seriously, thank you. Y'all make this event happen. We will be having a post-mortem this coming Monday. So if you have thoughts or feedback, we have a form that you can hit up that's on our website, or you can participate in Monday's Hangout to get feedback, because we want to do these again and we want to make it better for you. So just let us know. Thank you again.
Yeah, thanks, Nick.
D4D.